Our first story comes from Ian Gifford with information on the physics class.
I currently teach 9th grade physical science, chemistry, and physics. Oh, and I'm going to teach astronomy next semester.
Miss Beck is a longtime teacher for North Butler. Miss Beck teaches many of the science classes, including physics, which has the students doing more than just learning physics.
We spend 3 of the 5 days working on some math skills like doing motion and the equations that go with it. And we spend 2 days working on building using physics principles. We're hoping, cross your fingers due to COVID, that we're doing 3 competitions. One is an engineering design contest, which is like building a Rube Goldberg machine. Then we are doing the Physics Olympics, where we build mousetrap cars and catapults. And the third one is a cardboard boat races.
Of course, that's a lot to do, so I asked her what the hardest part of physics is to teach.
The math. Actually, it's understanding Ms. Beck teaching math. It's not always good. And we have trouble sometimes building something that doesn't fall apart.
With several events coming up, I also asked what she was most excited about.
Oh, I'm excited that we get to go to competitions. That's going to be fun. And we're the reigning champions of the boat races, so I'm hoping we get to keep the trophy.
Seems to be that there's a lot to be excited about in the physics class.
Thank you, Ian. Now here's Nicole Breibach with more information.
Speech is one of North Butler's extracurricular activities. It involves many events, some being Reader's Theater, short film, acting, and improv. Mrs. Ackerman and Mr. Strong are the speech coaches, and they will now tell you some observations that they have made and information that they have.
What I take joy in is seeing them grow and become confident in their performances. I suppose one of the things I've learned is that you can have a bad day and still perform in an amazing way. So to kind of like put that behind you and keep going, it's something that that we all need to keep in mind and do. Or we've had a student who had to learn an entire acting piece in 2 hours because we needed a substitute. To see the dedication, everybody else is asleep on the bus and he's got his cell phone out with the light on so he can read the script and memorize it, and he did it and they got a 1. I mean, that 1 is the highest rating. That's amazing. Those types of things are the things I cherish.
The biggest things with it is that speech is so important to develop communication skills between people, especially now when we're all texting or Snapchatting or maybe FaceTiming, or it's so important to be able to have those face-to-face communication skills, and that's really what speech provides. If you're watching this and you're thinking about going out for speech, just do it. It's a ton of fun. Mrs. Ackerman and I will make sure that you're prepared and you learn valuable skills that you will use the rest of your life, no matter what job you go into.
Thanks, Nicole. Now a word from our sponsors.
Butter braid pastries are now on sale. The North Butler Band and Choir students are taking orders for butter braids through January 28th. Flavors available are cinnamon, apple, raspberry, cherry, cheese and herb, caramel, strawberry cream cheese, and blueberry cream cheese.
COVID has affected many things, including sports. Clayton Miller spoke with Principal Holm about this.
There have been many changes this year due to COVID.
Students and staff need to wear masks to keep everybody safe, keep everybody in school. All the time that they're in the school building, when they cannot socially distance 6 feet or more.
If an exposure does happen, there are some requirements you must follow.
You can come back after you've been exposed 10 days after the last exposure. If you've had COVID, then you can come back 10 days after your first symptom, or after, if you didn't have any symptoms, then it would be 10 days after your positive test result.
The boys basketball team has recently been in quarantine and had their games postponed.
Mr. Omeline's working really hard on rescheduling everything that he can. So we want students to get as many of those activities rescheduled and back as we can. We're trying as hard as we can with the amount of time that we have.
Thanks, Clayton. Students in foods class made and decorated cakes. Nicole Breitbach has the highlights from that.
The foods class semester test was to bake and decorate a cake. They had to plan ahead, have a theme, bake it from scratch, frost it, and if they wanted a border, it had to be neat and have no gaps. They needed to find a cake and frosting recipe. Some of the teachers got to judge the final product. The judges thought that some of the cakes were creative, had good taste, and some were basic or undercooked. Mrs. Ingalls said that everyone did a good job, but they could have improved.
Thank you again, Nicole. Pickleball is a favorite activity amongst students. I had the opportunity to talk to Jeremy Shire about it. I'm here with Jeremy Shire, and we're going to be talking about pickleball, and I'm going to be asking him a few questions. So, first off, Jeremy, is pickleball your favorite activity to do in PE?
Yeah, it is. Besides dodgeball, but we can't play dodgeball now. So, it's a pretty fun activity. It's different besides kickball and mat ball. It helps with your hand-eye coordination. You got to be pretty good with your hand-eye to hit it.
There's crying in the classroom, and it's not from the students. Here's Abby Miller with the latest.
In the child development class at North Butler, the students are working with babies. The objective of the babies is to understand how to properly care for a new baby or infant. The students take the babies home overnight and tend to them as if they were a new parent with a newborn throughout the night. The babies are quite similar to how a real baby would need to be taken care of. Taking care of these babies include feeding, giving a bottle, burping, changing diapers, head support, rocking, positioning properly, and handling them as if they are a real infant. The students who bring these home are graded on how well they meet the needs of the baby. They are approximately 6 pounds and 2 ounces, and they are newborns. There are 4 difficulty levels that include easy, medium, hard, and mixed. The differences between all of them are how frequently they cry, rest periods, and the sensitivity. There are a variety of races and genders.
Thank you, Abby.